What's up, everybody? It's your boy C Sims, and this is That Comic Talk. Now, Far From Home just came out. I saw it. I loved it. I'm going to see it again sometime this week. I don't know when, but I will. So, I had to get to thinking, how do you rank them? How do you rank the Spider-Mans from yesteryear to present? How do you rank all of the Spider-Mans that we've seen to all the Spider-Men that we haven't seen? Now, I wanted to think about this, and I don't want to spend too much time and harp too much on this. However, I do want to talk about and actually explain why I feel this iteration of Spider-Man is the best iteration of Spider-Man that we have ever seen so far. And we're going to get into it right now. Now, Tom Holland he's a kid. He's in his early 20s, and when he first started this role, he was a teenager. That's the perfect age to have someone play Spider-Man. Be a kid. He has to be a kid in order for him to be Spider-Man. Show us what it's like to be a kid as Spider-Man. And, no disrespect to Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield, but, they were men. They were in the 30s. They were close to their 30s. I mean, yeah, you know how to act and everything like that, but it just wasn't. Now, Tobey Maguire, though, to most people, and is very arguable that he is the definitive Spider-Man. Like that is the benchmark. That's kind of like Christopher Reeves as being Superman. That is the benchmark of Superman. But his movies was in the early 2000s. We're now we're about to step into 2020 next year. So yeah, it's time to move on. Now, the reason why I think that this is the best iteration of Spider-Man is because this is an iteration of Spider-Man fully integrated into a cinematic universe. Now, Spider-Man before wasn't part of a cinematic universe. Andrew Garfield Spider-Man tried to create a cinematic universe, but it just didn't work out. Marvel has now gotten all of their property back. They got their Fox property and they're sharing Sony property. Now, they're continuing the story, and they're going to expand the universe bigger than what it ever was, or ever whatever they thought it was going to be is now bigger now. So, of course, this Spider-Man is going to be the new definitive Spider-Man. But, of course, we always look back at the old Spider-Man and try to see how they level up. Now, I want to try to rank the movies based on, best to worst, right? So, this movie came out yesterday, so it's hard for me to say, yeah, it's the best movie right off the bat. I thought about it all today, and I said, you know what? It is a strong competitor to be the best Spider-Man movie ever. And the way I'm looking at it, yeah, this is the best Spider-Man that we have seen. The reason why is because it expanded on a story. It came after Endgame, one of the greatest stories ever told in the comic book universe, in my opinion. It advanced the story of Peter Parker. The way that it ended left all of us at the tip of our seats, mouths dropped open, and just blown away. So, based off of those things alone, I'm going to go ahead and say that Far From Home is the best Spider-Man movie, period. Now, number 2, I'm going to go back to Spider-Man 2. Now, Spider-Man 2, same thing, same advantage that Far From Home have. It followed up a great story. It followed up with Spider-Man 1. Spider-Man 1 was a good story. It doesn't really age well, based on the graphics then and the graphics now. It doesn't really age well, but we still see a great story. Doc Ock was in this movie. We see the story told between Mary Jane and Peter, and we see Harry's in the midst, and he blames Peter for all of his ups and downs, his father dying and all that mess. They did a great job continuing a story, and that's why I'm giving it number 2. Number 3, and this would have been much higher. This probably would have been the best if it wasn't a cartoon, and that is Enter the Spider-Verse. Now, Miles Morales, I can't wait to see him in live action. I thought the movie was great. I enjoyed the movie. I loved the movie. It was an awesome movie. The only thing is, that movie was a cartoon. That's something I could have watched on Cartoon Network, on Disney Plus. Not a full-length movie. But if you're talking about themes, if you're talking about all that type of stuff, yeah, I got to give it number 3 over the rest of the live action. So let's move on. Now, I'm actually going to surprise some of y'all, and I'm going to say that number 4 is actually Amazing Spider-Man. And the reason why I'm going to say Amazing Spider-Man as the fourth one, because we saw something that we didn't expect to see, and we got a Spider-Man that was a little bit different from the other Spider-Mans. He was cool. He was kind of a laid back, chill dude. And then we saw what's going on in modern day New York. We kind of got that glimpse of it, and I thought that was pretty cool as well. The one thing I like too is that we got Dr. Kirk Connors, and because we got Dr. Kirk Connors and he turns into the reptile and everything like that, I thought that was awesome, because we never saw that in a movie before. And they had some big ambitions for what they were trying to do, how they were trying to connect everything to Oscorp, and then I have all these villains. I mean, yeah, it's a little bit, it's the lack of storytelling and everything like that, but me personally, I thought that was a pretty good, logical, method and way of them introducing all these new villains in the Sinister Six and all that stuff. But, that's why I gave that number 4. Now, number 5, we're going to go with the first Spider-Man, the very, sorry. Number 5 is going to be Homecoming. Yeah, Homecoming. I enjoyed Homecoming. Again, Homecoming connected stories. Spider-Man coming home to the MCU. So we still have a lot of MCU things that we have to get going and do. We have a lot of MCU issues that we have to clean up. And we just kind of threw Spider-Man in the middle of it. So in my mind, I was like, it was a great movie, but it was more of a MCU Homecoming of Spider-Man. Number 6, we've got to go with the first Spider-Man. The first Spider-Man is number 6. Like I said, it doesn't really age well, but this was the first time we saw Spider-Man on the big screen. His flipping, him transforming, the organic web shooters and everything like that. I thought all that worked. All that was perfect. It made sense. We got the Osborn. We saw both Osborns actually, and that was pretty cool. I enjoyed that movie. I mean, I could sit down and watch that movie again. I mean, the graphics, they had the chance to really connect most of the universe, but they didn't take that chance. And anyway, next one is actually going to be Venom. Surprisingly, Venom. I actually enjoyed Venom for what it tried to be. It knew it was not going to live up to the expectations. It knew it was going to just be a crazy looking comedy, sci-fi comedy, and I loved it. I thought it was cool. I thought it was alright. Yeah, I mean, Venom wasn't anything special, but we know we have Carnage coming, and to see Carnage, to know that Carnage is going to be here soon, I'm good with that. Alright, next is Spider-Man. Oh man, this is hard, but Amazing Spider-Man. No, Spider-Man 3. Spider-Man 3. I mean, granted, it was very convoluted, it was a mess, but one thing about that movie that I did like was all of the villains that they brought to life and how accurate they looked to the comic books. I thought it was pretty cool. The only one that didn't look accurate was Harry, and he had the sleek black, but it kind of looked like the stealth suit from Homecoming. No, from Far From Home. It kind of looked like the stealth suit from Far From Home. But anyway, yeah, I'm gonna give that the second to last spot, and the final spot is going to be Amazing Spider-Man 2. I didn't like Amazing Spider-Man 2. I didn't see it in the movie theaters, and I've seen every Spider-Man movie in the movie theaters. That's the only one I haven't seen. I thought they did a disservice to Jamie Foxx. I thought they could have did that. Anyway, I didn't like it at all. I thought the whole forced story between Peter and Harry being friends, and they were best friends, and they never mentioned it. Yeah, the concept of Peter Parker's dad was pretty cool, but nobody cares about that. Like, nobody cares about that. So you could have just jumped right into the movie. Gwen Stacy dying and the way she died, I think the only redeeming factor of that movie was the way the webs came out and they opened up like hands. I thought that was amazing. That was probably the only amazing thing of that movie, with the name title of Amazing. But yeah, that's what I think. Anyway, that's my list. My list can change because, I still gotta see this movie again, and I gotta watch it, compare it to the other movies and everything like that. We actually did a similar video to this maybe a year or two ago. Me and my boy, Mayno, aka I'm Legend. I'm gonna put that in the icon in the corner there. You can definitely go and check that out if you want to see where my mind was then 2 years ago. But that's what I think. That's what I know, and that's where we are. Spider-Man, Far From Home. I mean, did his thing, you know, and now we have a whole universe of stories that we're going to be told, and I can't wait. I'm excited. Once again, like, share, subscribe, click the notification button so you can know when we drop new stuff. This is your boy Sam's. This is That Comic Show. You already know where we at. You know where I can't even talk. It's too hot upstairs. Too hot. Way too hot. Too hot.